Hippo.
Broadcast Hippo. Digital media.
Come on!
I'm a hippo. Broadcast Hippo. Digital media. What is up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to the show. It is February 15th, 2022 in the year of our Lord. I'm Andrew Z. We've got Gina from Gabella Media drinking her coffee. We got Chris Tiefel, Donnie P. Where's Ashley, Donnie? She's sleeping in today?
She's
she actually got up on time, but she's getting ready. She's got a big day today, a lot of work to do, some appointments. So she'll be at the office,
sell them
the
houses.
New office
Sell
in
those houses.
Perrysburg.
Wait, what?
They have a new office in Perrysburg, so I'll have to have her go live later and give us a tour.
Yeah, I
On
know.
Facebook or something.
I was just talking to on another podcast yesterday. I was talking to Christine Best, who used to run Levis and now runs all of Perrysburg promotion, and she was saying about how that thing's in beauty. It's a big, beautiful building for Danbury, and then it's got Saba Home Builders, which built my first home.
Nice.
Great people, Blair and the people there are great people. All right, Donnie, you're not on mic. I don't think. Tap it real quick. Yeah, your mic's not on. We're getting you on the computer audio, and we have a special guest here that I cannot ignore any longer. He is a famous TikTok influencer, ladies and gentlemen. Dexter Hill is here. Hi, Dexter.
Hi, what's up, guys?
Live from New York, it's Dexter Hill.
That's right, in my tiny studio.
I love it.
Wait,
Dexter,
what are we talking square footage wise? I got to compare my tiny studio.
So let's see. So like those big companies that have like those huge boardrooms?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my apartment's smaller than that.
I have a bigger apartment.
Yes, easily.
So,
and a balcony.
Dexter, what part of New York are you in?
So I'm on the Upper West Side.
So you're like in the city.
Oh yeah, Manhattan.
That is, dude. That is awesome. That's the dream of a lot of people. If you're going to live in New York, to be in one. Is it like a high rise? Yeah, right?
No. So the high rise is next door.
Uh-huh.
That's not my building. No, not at all. But it was one of those where it was kind of a pandemic find. Because so many people fled. It actually opened up, and I happened to be needing to move at that point. So literally, it was just fated for me to be here. So it's been great.
Did you get a discount since people were fleeing at the time, and there was there wasn't the apartment shortage there usually is?
Oh yeah. It was one of those where it was like I kind of felt like I was in real estate for that moment. I was like, oh, this is the time to take it. The market's good right now for me. So I took it.
Awesome, man. Congratulations. Well, thank you for coming on the show. We're super excited to have you. Love your energy, and just let everyone know he's gay. So,
hi.
Right?
And single. Hello.
First off, like we didn't realize that already, but why are we announcing it?
Wait, are you stereotyping now? What do you mean? How do you?
Well, I just like
Please
that.
Announce it. Tell the world.
Single is the important part, you guys. Single is the important part.
Yeah.
Are you recently single? Have you been single a while? What's your deal?
Goodness. I mean,
he had meatloaf on Valentines Day. It's been a while.
I mean, it was scrumptious.
We were talking off the airport. Dexter didn't have a Valentine's Day date, so he ordered meatloaf in yesterday.
I mean,
top that. I mean, what?
Yeah,
what
right.
Else
like
would you expect from B-Day? Right, other than meatloaf. But no, I mean it's been I guess long enough. I don't know. I kind of like it.
Are you looking for love?
I mean, so whenever I have, it's just kind of smacked me in the face. So I'm trying the opposite approach. I'm not looking for it.
Oh.
I'm daring it.
Yes.
I'm daring it to come attack me and like show up and hold me to prevent me from leaving and walking away.
Well, that's the way Chris Tiefel finds love.
Well, he's in the butterfly stage of looking for love. It's like, when you chase it, it flies away. But if you rest, it might just flutter down on your shoulder, and then you can accept it.
Yes.
Right.
Love it. But by the way, I need to give a quick update. Welcome, Dexter. I got to give a quick update on Chris Tiefel. So if you remember,
no, you don't. God damn it!
Was that for off airsies?
Well,
nothing's
no,
for
because
off-airsies.
I have absolutely no problem with talking about this. I have a problem with you talking about this with your lies and bias.
Okay, real quick. So we know that Chris hadn't had sex in like a decade.
Not true.
Stop it.
We got this girlfriend, or no, a date. No, girlfriend. I'm sorry.
It's undefined at the moment.
Okay, no. So you got ghosted on a date this girl you'd known for a long time, and then you decided, well, that was your spurring of starting to look for love. You were starting to get out there.
I didn't say anything about love. I just said putting myself out there. Why you got to put words?
All right. So then he's got this other girl now that was a missed connection from years ago.
Yeah, I figured I'd put myself back out there. I got to go through my roster of missed opportunities.
Yeah, and they went out on a Valentine's Day date last night to Bob Evans.
No, it wasn't to Bob Evans. We ended up at Bob Evans. See, this is why I don't want you telling these stories, because you tell them completely wrong.
He tells the best parts, Chris. See, there's a difference.
No, he doesn't tell the best parts because he doesn't know the best part. The best part is the first thing we did was we went to a skating rink in Fremont, because apparently it's 1987 in Fremont.
Did you skate?
Yes, I
Are
put
you
on
okay
the skate.
today?
Okay, so went skating. We're both in our mid 30s. Neither of us have skated in at least 18 years. And she was wobbly and did not make it much past the perimeter.
It was wobbly.
On there, just balanced.
So how was she on the ice, though?
It wasn't. No, we're talking roller skates.
Sorry, you set me up.
Yeah, no, we're talking roller skate, and then I
newborn deer, like wobbly?
and then I was a bit wobbly, but I was a bit better at keeping my balance. I actually made it around the whole rink a few times, and then there was one ill-fated time where my legs did go akimbo, and I ended up falling on my ass, and my right cheek up into my right back now is just not fun right now because of that experience. But
did she have to help you up?
It was a lot of fun. No, she wasn't anywhere near where the fall happened. She was way over on the perimeter on a bench, and I was way up in the middle of the floor when it happened.
Go ahead, Donnie.
So you definitely had a watch this moment where you could show off a little bit. She's just hanging out, drinking a Sprite, and you're lapping around. Just
and I was doing pretty good. And then I had that Stewart moment from Mad TV. Like, look what I can do. And then that's when my legs went akimbo and I fell on my ass. But I did recover very quickly because I figured it probably would not be a good look or sexy in any way to stay on the floor writhing in pain.
So let me ask you this, Chris. Are you one of those ones back in the day, 18 years ago, were you ones that could skate backwards, and were you a really good skater? Because I love the video.
I was decent. I was never good. I didn't fall down.
I love the TikToks of the old guys that you obviously used to skate back then, and they're grooving, and it's effortless. It's beautiful. I wish I could.
And that was my problem. That was my problem. I started grooving to the music because it was cool in the gang.
Right.
Well, you have to.
And that's when I fell.
Go ahead, Donnie.
You'd be happy to hear, Andrew, that those guys are still going to the skating rink, because anytime I go to a party with the kids, they're still there. They're still there.
They're just
They literally never leave. They just eat pizza and drink soda all day and night, and then they just skate around. They never ever leave.
They do that move where they kind of swing their leg around the front of the other leg, and you swing the leg around the front, swing it around.
I see it in my head right now. I love it. I've never been able to skate like that, but I've always been envious of those people that could do that.
And then we went bowling, where I'd like to say that I let her win. I'd like to say that.
Right.
She still won, but it wasn't because I let her.
Right.
And then at that point it's Fremont. And there's 3 good restaurants in town. One of them she doesn't like. The other one was filled with stuff already because it was Valentine's Day. Right. So we ended up going to Bob Evans, which was, it ended up being nice. It was an overall really nice night. I didn't get home until around 11:30.
Whoa! Look at you.
All right, great job, Chris. That sounds like an amazing time.
Yeah. I had to DJ a wedding on Saturday. No, I'm sorry. Birthday party on Saturday. It was a 40th birthday party, and these people booked me. And the first time I got booked, it got canceled a month ago because it was a family COVID outbreak. So they had COVID and they canceled it. So they rescheduled it for the Saturday. Now it's this girl's 40th birthday party, and she set out rented a hall and put money into this. Rented a hall, rented us, caterer, party decorator, all this stuff. I put a decent amount of money. I mean, it was a VFW hall, so I mean, it wasn't like it was, but she put a decent amount of money into this thing, and it was set up for about 130 people. I think there were, table 7. There's about 15 tables there, so it was a decent amount. Once the party got going and it was at its height, it was probably 28 people there. And I felt bad. And I'm thinking, you have to be confident in your friend skills. Like, you have to be confident in your friends to put that much money into it. And then that's a big miss. It's a big miscalculation.
I don't know. I mean, 40 is not 21. I think 28 people show up to your 40th.
Yeah,
I mean, that's about right.
No, but not when 21. I agree. But when there was, at the end of the day, she's like, "Hey, you want to take some food home for 65 people?" I'm like, "No, thank you." I mean,
did they have meatloaf though?
Yeah, no, there was no meatloaf. She miscalculated by 100 people. That's a big miscalculation. Like, I felt bad for her, but they made the best of it. But
you got to invite
you have to be very confident.
More people.
Well, how many?
20% more. So if you want 150, you got to invite like 180.
See, now
I don't even like 28 people.
Yeah, that seems like a tall order.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's like, just know what you got to be realistic about this thing. And I don't know how you missed by 100.
So with me, if I was to throw a party for 28 people, like even if I knew 30 people were coming, I would still make enough food for 65 people, because that's just how, like, even for my family of 5, I make enough food for 10 people. I always overdo it. So maybe that was the case. Maybe she just overdid it with the food.
No,
like maybe her friends are just really hungry.
Hey, Gina,
no, they wanted.
Am I invited to this party? To this hypothetical party?
Oh, God,
see,
no.
the problem is that I left room for 30, and you're number 31 on my list of people I like.
Oh,
damn it!
I know. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, if I was invited, you might want to bump it up to 75 people, food wise.
But that's kind of the food thing. That's where my mentality would go with cooking for people, is that I would make enough for everybody to have 2 servings, because I'm fat and I want to eat 2 servings at your party.
But here's the thing: at the VFW hall, though, they have a room with chairs and tables. So they made a conscious effort to pull out 15 tables and sit on 130 chairs, and then put the chair covers over them and decorate the chairs. So she was really she was thinking,
well, Andrew,
people were going to show up.
I hope I'm not the first person to point this out to you, but there's a chance she might have thought you had a bigger draw than you did.
No, it was her family. It was the family. How dare you, Donnie, you bastard.
That's so annoying when people say, like, it's the DJ
overestimated Andrew's popularity.
Sorry, bro.
No, it's okay. And then
it had the opposite effect, Andrew. People were like, "Oh, he's DJing. I'm not going."
I'm out.
Like, they were coming until they found out you were DJing.
Oh, but Andrew has a different DJ name. Because he's not going. He's got to come up with a different DJ name so that he can't. So that his name isn't that that deterrent.
Marshmallow's already taken, and that would have fit perfectly.
DJ Spinsies.
Spinsies.
DJ Fat Fingers. That's it. It's DJ Fat Fingers.
You can try it on stage. Just come in on upside down.
And that's a problem too. Chris tried to call me out. Tifa tried to call me out the other day. I really do have FFS, which is a real disease, fat finger syndrome. And then you put that with auto. You put that with no. It looks like I can't spell, but I spell very well. We can have a test right now. I can spell very well.
Okay. Here's you have fat. Okay, Andrew, you have fat finger syndrome
and autocorrect.
That combined with the autocorrect. All right. But does that explain your inattention to detail to not proofread the text before you hit submit?
Yeah, I don't do that usually. I mean,
bro.
Oh, and
I know
Dexter, let me tell you what else he does that's so aggravating. Do you have friends that text like it's not even every sentence, it's every, like, where he would put a comma.
Every phrase.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
like hits enter so it goes down. So
It's like a
his
it's like a
text-
poem, a haiku.
Yes, yes. It's so
Yep,
I like
yep.
when I'm reading it, I can't. It's so aggravating.
He's
when I
one
get a
step
text
away from
him.
signing his texts.
In my
That's
defense,
how old he is. He's like
Hold on.
one step away from like
With the
Andy
dash.
V.
in my defense, every word I write, Dexter, is perfection. So it has to be written like
Except
that.
when I call you out for the misspelling, and then it's not so perfect.
I mean, the only thing worse is just being put into a group chat with people that you barely know and like getting all of the notifications when it's like, A, I don't know you. B, I don't care. C, why is something happening on my phone making me get excited and it's just this nonsense.
So Dexter, you're talking to the king of group chats over here,
Dude.
Mr. Z over here. He will make a group chat for every single topic that has ever existed, and he will just add
Birds.
random people to it.
I'm in 4 of them, Dexter. I'm
Yeah,
in 4 of them.
So Donnie, he puts
Is
me
it
in
like a
every-
contest? Like how many you can like rack up? Like
Donnie, he puts me in every single one, even the ones that have nothing to do with me. But here's what he does do that I do appreciate. He does Facebook group chats instead of text message group chats. So at least I can mute.
those are better.
Yes, much better. So like he could be worse. He could do text message ones, at which point I would have to block him from my life, not just my phone.
I'm with you, Dexter. I hate being in those groups where 90% of the people, they're just numbers that come up when they text 'cause you don't know who the hell they are. You don't even have them in your phone.
Right. I know
My
they're
aunt-
cute.
Yeah. My aunt had updated, my uncle was in the hospital and she had sent an update text, right? And it had a whole bunch of people on it, and it's a bunch of boomers. So it's like all their friends, and then I was included in it. And so they all start texting about their medical problems. And I don't know if they're not realizing that they're in a group text and they're like texting, and I'm like reading about these total strangers, boomers, medical issues.
Like their knee
And it was
replacement.
the worst. That was seriously the worst text message thread I've ever been stuck in my entire life. It was
Well,
awful.
at least it might have made you feel young.
Yeah, right.
Well, it made me scared because now that's not that far away. I'm like, oh shit, I only have like 25 years left before I'm in this group text
chat.
bowel movements, and oh my god, it was awful.
I
Horrible.
hate saying it because it's so cliche, but you don't realize how, like you're watching the Super Bowl on Sunday, you don't realize how fucking fast time flies. People say it all the time, but when you start experiencing it, it's like, holy shit, it's been 20 years since this music. How 20 years? It's a long time.
Yeah.
It seems like
1990 was 20 years ago. Fight me.
I know. Right? Crazy. Right? I know people have beat it to death, but let's talk about a halftime show real quick. Okay, there hasn't been a good halftime show in a few years. So I watch this halftime show and I get excited. And I'm like, this is the greatest halftime show that's ever lived. Now looking at it a couple days removed. All right. So first of all, Kendrick Lamar sucked.
He didn't suck. He was great. You just don't like
I thought
him
he was
because you're a
good.
boomer.
Really?
Yeah,
I
he
thought
was great.
I love Kendrick.
He did a wonderful job.
All right.
The
Neither
dancing, the choreography. Come on.
I love the halftime show. Okay. All right. Neither here nor
No,
there.
Kendrick. I'm talking about Kendrick's set.
Oh, okay. My point was that there was Prince, there was Michael Jackson, there was an epic performance by Bruno Mars a couple years ago.
Lady
I
Gaga was
remember-
wonderful.
What's that?
She was.
Lady Gaga was wonderful.
Remember Katy Perry coming in on the Tiger?
Lion, but yes.
Whatever. No, it was the Eye of the Tiger. You got the Eye of the Tiger. It was a tiger.
It was lion, but okay.
And then she had the More You Know star, which was nice.
And I remember the Aerosmith jamming out and whatever. So I guess I overshot my wad when I said this was the greatest halftime show of all time. Does anyone else agree, disagree?
I'm just trying to figure out what Dre was doing at the top of that building the entire time, because he's in front of what looked to be a console, but every time they showed it, there were no controls.
Right.
But then he's acting like he's mixing.
Well, but then
And I'm just like,
Well,
I was
that's-
like, you realize there's cameras on you, right? Like we can
It's a
see
show.
there's nothing happening.
Go ahead, Donnie.
Well, that was part of the performance aspect. You know, he's at heart a producer,
Right.
and he put all these guys together. He had a big part in all these guys'
He
careers.
built that house.
No, I get the imagery, and I get that he was a key player and all that. But I guess when you're putting together the production and you're putting together the set, you couldn't have at least put fake controls that we could see.
I feel like that's just not even a thing. But this is my opinion of it.
Gina, then go ahead.
So my opinion of the halftime show is this. Michael Jackson was great. Prince was great. There's a ton of great halftime shows. Yeah. But for me, personally, for my taste, for me, that was the best halftime show I have ever seen. I was entertained. Right. I loved every minute of it. Were the other ones great? Yes, sure. That's fine. But for me, I was the most entertained with this one that I have ever been in the other ones.
Go ahead, Dexter.
Now, I mean, I guess my review is very much kind of colored by all of the beers and shots that I'd had up to that point. So from memory, which is very foggy, what I loved about it was, I mean, it's in LA, so you have Snoop, you got Dre, kind of gave you that like Cali love. And then being a TikToker, so this was the first, I'm gonna make an admission. This was the first Super Bowl I actually watched from start to finish, and watched in quotes, roughly.
Yeah. We're sorry that it was the Bengals.
Right. But I'm a TikToker, and on TikTok, the Mary J. Blige stomp was like trending, like for some random reason to me. I did not understand why. I had heard nothing about the Super Bowl before I watched it. And then she appears, and I'm like, oh, this makes so much sense. She's performing and stomping. So between between the Cali Love and the Mary J. Blige stomp, it was amazing.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. I had to put it in perspective. A couple days removed. I loved it. No, I was jamming.
I'm just laughing over like the New York Post's headline yesterday or so, where they were like, "Oh, there's a picture of Snoop smoking a joint before the show, before the show." Like nobody expected it. Like if you had a picture of Snoop like drinking a coffee and going over paperwork before the show, that would have been a news story. That's a news story.
I agree.
Right? Yeah, he's got to be smoking a joint before, and that's what you expect. That's his brand.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he can actually perform as him unless he is high. So that's what you got.
So I have one other thing that I do want to bring up about this. So this guy on Facebook I made a post about Super Bowl halftime show, and this guy says, it was the controversy about Eminem kneeling or whatever. It says, who cares if Eminem knelt? What about this, where he pulls up the article where Snoop Dogg was sued over alleged sexual assault and battery. Now, if that was a white Republican, they would have got pulled from the show. And I said, well, actually, that's not true. If it was like Charlie Sheen, if it was Alec Baldwin, Charlie Sheen is a huge Trumper. I said he would just get a pass. I mean, but it brought me to a different question, not that one. I don't give a fuck about him. But the question is, why do certain stars, why are they lovable scamps? Like, why are we give a pass like Snoop Dogg? I may have said, we know
what happened with that lawsuit, because did the lawsuit get dropped?
I don't, which one?
I mean, that's important information to have.
Like, no, it just got filed. They were mediating.
Yeah, filed. They tried to have a mediator to squash it, and mediation fell apart. So his people met with the people that represented the victim. My point is, if it's Charlie Sheen, he's allowed to have harems going on with his kids running around. If it's Alec Baldwin, he's allowed to shoot people in the face. It's Alec Baldwin. He shoots people in the face.
That was an accident, dude. You can't. What the hell? Holy shit.
Well, and here's an important context, though. I was going to say the important context is it was literally just filed before. Like they would, if they pulled him, they wouldn't have had time to replace him.
Okay, so the other point was, I mean, Alec Baldwin did call his young daughter a fat pig and, screaming at her. So, but we got a pass. He gets a pass from all this. So why are certain stars, and I don't know the answer, why do certain stars just get this pass no matter where that would cancel other stars? Go ahead, Don.
Well, he doesn't get a pass, number one. And number two, timing is a big part of it. He was indicated in the lawsuit, like he didn't really have a lot of direct contact with this person. He just like basically it was his company and one of his employees. So we still don't know how much responsibility he's going to end up having, or if he's going to be exonerated, if he's going to be convicted. So, a lawsuit's filed and allegations filed. That's not, a conviction. That's not proof of anything at that point. So if they had a little bit more time to digest it and figure it out, because it's the first we're hearing about it, I think it was the day before. I don't even think it was 2 days before.
Yeah, maybe maybe a day or two. Yeah, you're right.
It might have been or a day or two. So so I think it's a case by case basis, and we're yet to find out if he is going to have some backlash from this.
Well,
once we kind of figure out how much responsibility he had in it.
I guess for me, the question is more overview. Why do certain stars get a pass from bad behavior that other stars would definitely like bad boys? So you might as well go into the celebrity world as a bad boy, because you can get away with shit, and if we like you, you freaking did this or that, but you're Alec Baldwin, you're Charlie Sheen, you're Snoop Dogg. That's what we expect from you. I mean, we let him have a youth football league, and the dude openly smokes weed and gangbangs and back in the day and all this stuff. But it's Snoop. We love Snoop. He's got great songs. But other stars wouldn't get away with that. I guess we don't really have an answer, but it was just interesting to me how we allow this behavior, because I allow it too. I love Snoop. It's like if we think we know them, and he dances around fun and whatever, we're like, oh, we'll give him a pass. We like that guy. Go ahead, Scott, Dexter.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like that's part of it too. It's like, especially with this social media age, these fans of these stars, in their minds, some of them believe that they actually know them. Like, they think that they will actually be invited to a group chat with these celebrities. No, you will not. I'm sorry. And I know you actually want to be in this group chat, one of the few that you want to be in, but it ain't gonna happen. They don't know you. So you defending them like as if you're their lawyer, they don't know who you are.
And this is the thing that annoys me about my sister. Sometimes she'll refer to celebrities by their first name. Like, I'm supposed to just know who she's talking about. So she's talking about the celebrity like they're buddies, like they're besties about to go have facials. And she keeps referring. I have no idea who I assume she's talking about, some girl that lives here in Toledo. I have no idea.
All right.
I do that when I'm talking about Ohio State players. I'll call them by their first name, like they're my nephews or something.
All right.
So in conclusion, though, we'll see. He might get into some trouble for this. We're gonna have to find out see how it goes.
I just when it comes to lawsuits, my thing is that when they first start, like you said, before we dissect them, before we hear more about them, anybody can file a lawsuit, and of course, lawyers are going to meet. But those two things are going to happen with every single lawsuit. So we can't cancel somebody or want to cancel somebody the second a lawsuit comes out. I can go file a lawsuit against anybody I want.
Go ahead,
and you have to keep in mind, they went through mediation, and Snoop and his team felt that they had a strong enough case to not, because their demands were too high. And so obviously there were some offers made back and forth, and the accuser did not agree to it. So the Snoop's team was like, well, we have enough to go on to let's let it go out, and we'll fight it out in court. So basically that's
settling outside of court isn't necessarily an indication of anything other than we just don't want this to be a big public spectacle.
Well, I hate to say that, but yeah, the worse it is, the quicker they are gonna pay.
Yeah. All right. So Dexter, I know you've never been to our area, our neck of the woods, but if you were going to pick a day to come, I have a day for you to come, and you can stay at our house, no problem.
All right.
There's a big event coming up, and we need you to come hang out with us. It's in Maumee, which is one of our towns, and it's called Acoustics For Autism.
Oh, it's great. This is a great event.
Yeah, it's just all it is bands and fun, and it's for a great cause. And nice. It's coming up in March, and we're super excited to bring on Scott, who's one of the organizers of the event. Hey, Scott.
What's up, guys? How are you doing?
What's up, brother? Mike, you sound really good. I love your audio.
That was almost like a professional directorial production thing that you did there. Like, you just announced him, and boom, he just shows up in frame.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we practiced it in rehearsal. So Scott, I know you've got Acoustics For Autism coming up. It's a big day. It's actually the most fun event that this city has every single year.
100%. Yes.
It's 100 bands. How many bands is it? I mean, there's a band, 10 stages and a million bands, and it's crazy, Scott.
It's the we've been told that it is the largest annual free, with the caveat being free, music event in the country. Maybe North America. There's conflicting data on that. So yes, there's 84 bands this year, 8 stages. They're shutting down Conant Street, Andrew, this year, which is a first for us.
Well,
Hey,
So
you guys have been trying that for years, and now they finally said it's big enough. We got to do it, right?
indeed, yeah.
Awesome.
Didn't they basically shut down
we're
Conant Street when they
expecting-
did the lane?
Yeah, they shut down that one lane on Conant Street.
yeah, the one lane.
Takes me a half
Yeah,
hour.
don't bring
takes
that
me a
up.
half hour to get from Computer Discount to Perrysburg.
To
Because of
be
it.
fair, there would be so much traffic it would have shut down anyway.
Well, here's the thing. Mommy said, we've already shut down 90% of it. For Acoustics For Autism, we could shut down the last 10%.
Well done.
No, but anything new this year, different, or just the same old amazing show?
Well, like I said, the new things are it's much bigger. It gets bigger every year.
Yeah.
Last year we had a ticketed event because of COVID, so that was a little different, but it was still a very successful event. So same thing. Some additions are we have that additional stage on Conant. And that won't be tented, so that, behind the Village Idiot, behind the Elks is that huge tent where the beer garden stage is, silent auction stage, etc. And then the venues, Village Idiot, the Elks, Small Box Music, they'll all have Buster Browns, they'll all have stages indoors. Conant Street will be like a big overflow area for people that don't feel comfortable going in a crowded tent. The stage will be covered, but if it's nice weather, it'll be great to be out there on March 6th. So we'll see. We think we're getting all the snow out of the system right now, so we're hoping that we have good weather. Even if we don't, we're still able to pull it off. We've done it in every kind of weather, monsoons, snowstorms, and we'll do it this year regardless.
Go ahead, Gina.
Hey, Scott, can you tell us what does I know, but we want to tell all of our listeners, what does Acoustics For Autism where do the funds go? What kind of community help do you do? I know it's a lot, but if you just list the bullet points.
So we are just a volunteer organization. No one gets paid. Judge Corey, my wife, Nicole Corey, started it. She's much better at doing the media stuff than I am, but she can't do that anymore because of ethical reasons. She's a judge, so she's probably listening. So hi, Nicole. But she started it because she had a friend who had a child that was had ASD, and they tried all kinds of different therapies that insurance doesn't cover, and they found a strategy that worked for them, but it was very expensive. Because there's a saying that if you know one child with ASD, you know one child with ASD, because it's so varied how it manifests itself over the spectrum. So what we do is we endow a scholarship fund. So we make as much money as we can, put it in a fund, and then distribute it to families that apply for a scholarship. And so we don't do treatment. If a doctor says it will work for your child, that is the threshold, that's the bar. We then as a group decide on scholarships, the board of directors does, and then we distribute those funds. We've distributed hundreds of thousands of dollars to Northwest Ohio families so that their kids can have the treatment that they need.
Right.
It's funny. I was I follow your wife on Facebook, who she says hello, by the way. She just posted on Facebook. She says hello, Scott. And then but she posted how she wanted to be friends. We were just talking about Snoop, how she would love to be friends with Snoop Dogg. She thinks that'd be cool. And I made a comment on her post. I'm like, that could probably create a lot of ethical questions for you being friends with ethical dilemmas, being friends with Snoop Dogg as a judge.
Yeah, he might very well be before her if he comes to Northwest Ohio.
Scott, and Nicole, I work at Summit Academy, which is a school for kids with ADHD and autism. So there are and the need that and or I should say the solution you guys have created for the need that these kids have is amazing. So, even down to like weighted blankets are expensive. And that is a huge thing for our kids, is a lot of them really, the weighted blankets really help them sleep. They help them calm down. They really help with a lot of things. And there's a lot of families that can't afford $50 to $100 for a weighted blanket. It's just not in a budget. And so I know that that's one thing that a lot of kids want or need. And I know there's a ton of other ones. I just know that that's probably one of the biggest from what I see.
Yeah, Gina, that's a great point. I mean, so I had mentioned that if a doctor says this is an accepted therapy or treatment, but we also provide the products that you mentioned that are ASD friendly, that the families desperately need. Some of them are very expensive. A doctor might say there's an app on an iPad that makes a lot of sense. So we'll help out with stuff like that.
It's awesome, man. All right, Scott, it's March 6th. Go ahead, Tifel, go ahead.
Well, I mean, you guys, we're all talking about all the serious stuff, and I just want to know what are some of the big ticket items in the silent auction?
Oh,
that's actually a great question.
Nicole text because Nicole puts all of that together. She's working very hard, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because one of the asks are that if you're going to donate to the silent auction, get it in now. But there's always really good sports memorabilia. I know for a fact I'll be bidding on the signed Nick Chubb jersey from the Cleveland Browns. Oh, nice. As a suffering Browns fan, that might bring a little light. I'll be bidding on that. There's always just really cool art stuff, musical instruments, bicycles, tons of gift cards to your favorite restaurants. And so we package all of that together with a theme. That's one of the things Nicole works on really hard. Our house is full of, you go from one room to the next and it's all just packaged silent auction goods that we're getting to try to turn that into something productive.
And Nicole does say that if you need anything, if you need to apply for a scholarship because you have someone in the family that has autism, or if you want to find out more of the details of the silent auction or the show or the times and what bands are performing, all that can be found at Project IM, the letter I. So it's Project.
I have to get going because I have to go to school. But Nicole, you guys are already in all of our welcome packets. We already put you guys, every student that comes in knows about Project IM. And just from an educator's perspective and a caretaker's perspective, we love you guys so much. So and it's great. Your work is greatly appreciated.
All right. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Gina. March 6th is the show Project IM. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you taking time to talk to us, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
You bet. Thanks.
Thank you, Scott. Bye-bye. There it is, Scott from Project IM. Go to projectim.com for more details. Biggest show in North America that's free, Dexter. You got to get here.
I mean, I'm learning things today. This is awesome.
Dexter,
I got to take a trip.
Yes.
Dexter's going to show up on your door, and Colleen's going to be like, "Who this?"
No,
Colleen's not allowed
with my suitcase.
Yeah,
hi guys.
Dexter, you need to talk to Colleen first. You need to talk to Colleen first. He's not allowed to invite people over.
Colleen is.
Oh, okay. Got it.
I had to get Dexter on. She follows him on TikTok, and she's a huge fan. And you were actually. Do you have a car, Dexter? Because I know a lot of New Yorkers don't even have cars.
I do not have a car.
Yeah.
It is me and my feet, or me and the subway.
There's something quaint about that. Not having to own a car. I love that concept. I mean, I could never get along without one. But
Except you're stuck in Manhattan when the zombie apocalypse happens.
Well, that's okay because walking has become my vehicle, and it's a science. Like between that and like my elbows just kind of shoving people out of the way that don't know how to walk on a sidewalk, I feel like I could take on a zombie.
I think you could. All right. This is part of the show, Dexter, where a lot of people tune out and we lost Gina. It's because this is where Chris Tiefel does a little segment. Chris Tiefel does a little segment. Why did I just forgot the name of the segment right now? WTF News with Ebenezer Bushrod. So Tiefel will take stories from around the world and deliver them to us. So whenever you're ready, Tiefel, you go right ahead.
I dislike you so much.
Story number one.
So, all right, story number 1 of 4. The Idaho Potato Commission is celebrating Idaho Potato Lovers Month.
All right.
Coming out with a new fragrance inspired by the Gem State Spuds. It uses it uses some essential oils and some distilled Idaho potatoes to make a fragrance that is embodying of the irresistible essence of potatoes. So if you've ever
Tifa, real quick, do you already wear that? Because I smell
Yeah.
French on you every
no,
time.
that's just McDonald's.
I'm wearing curly fries.
You're wearing curly fries, Donnie? Ooh.
So basically, they one bottle, 1.7 ounces of it will cost you about the size of a large fry, $1.89. You can get it on the Potato Commission's website right now, and you can go around smelling like French fries.
Okay, so that was going to be my question, because is it going to be a French fry aroma? Am I potatoes au gratin? Am I a hash brown? Like I need details.
Yeah, I want to smell like potatoes au gratin all the time. That sounds amazing. Yeah, wait, by the way, potatoes au gratin are very they don't get the praise that they deserve. If they lost their way, something happened. A good baked potato with cheese on the top and some cream of mushroom sauce, whatever the fuck they put on it, dude, sounds amazing right now. And I can't remember the last time I had potatoes au gratin, and I don't think my kids would eat it. That's a lost form of potato that's amazing.
I made some a couple months ago.
I'm trying to. It's sold out, you guys. I'm trying to get me some. It's called frites or frites. Frites.
Yeah, frites. is the name. It's frites.
Donnie went right there to try to order some, and
I'm in.
He's like $1.89. I don't even have to talk to Ashley about that much.
I have a $5 spending limit. I'm cool. Story number 2.
All right. So out of Russia, 16-year-old Nikita Uvarov is facing a 5-year prison sentence on alleged terrorism charges for plotting to destroy a mock-up of the FSB building in Minecraft.
I mean,
Nikita and two of his friends were apparently they were arrested for passing out flyers in support of another person who was facing trial for speech reasons there in Russia, and so they got arrested during that. And then it was found while they were being investigated that they were also talking in a group chat. This is where the group chat comes to bite you in the ass again about destroying the FSB building. And apparently they had made their own mocked up IEDs and tested them out in abandoned buildings and stuff like that. Obviously nothing blew up because obviously the buildings are still standing on there. And but their talk was all about destroying the FSB headquarters mock-up that they had made in Minecraft. And the two others cooperated in the investigation are not facing any sort of prison sentences at the moment. He is facing 5 years, and he says he will do it with a clear conscience because he says he did nothing wrong.
I'm going to give you guys a little piece of advice that I learned the hard way. Did you guys know that even on the show, if we decide that we're going to hey guys, just for funsies, let's take down a bank. If just talking about it, if you and I have a discussion, if more than one person has a discussion about it, that right there is illegal. You don't even have to carry out the act. Once you have talked about it with another person, it starts the conspiracy, and now you've done something illegal. Did you know that?
Well, if anyone has experience with this,
it's me. All
right, so it's called conspiracy. So if you're planning on robbing a bank, just don't discuss it with anyone beforehand.
No, you cannot.
That way afterward, if you discuss it with anyone, it's just bragging. All right. All right. So
final
coming
story.
out of it is number 3, second to final story. All right. So out of New Zealand here, much like 1989 Noriega trying to get him out of the Vatican embassy, New Zealand has decided to use a similar approach on anti-COVID measure protesters. These people were inspired by the truck convoy people up in Canada, and so they've decided to start protesting mandates and stuff. Now, it is important to note that in New Zealand, out of a fairly large population of 5 million, they've only had 53 deaths due to COVID. This entire time, large part due to the measures that they took to protect themselves at the start of the pandemic. Now, these people are protesting, and Parliament has taken the hardline stance of just not listening, putting their fingers in their ears and going, la, 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 we can't hear you. But of course, you can still hear them. They're still outside Parliament, and they're protesting and being kind of dickish. They've redirected water cannon water with ditches and things like that. So they've taken a book from the United States military from 1989 and started blasting the protesters with music. And the music that they chose was Macarena. Continuous loop of Macarena to break up the protesters, and it apparently worked.
God, that
Did
was
they actually like go outside and like do the choreography too, like in front of them to like really make them mad? Like
Macarena is one of the Macarena is one of those songs where first off you start hearing it and you're like, oh, it's the Macarena. Then the second time it starts looping and you're like, okay, I can get into this, and you start doing the dance because you remember middle school gym, and then and then it just starts getting annoying, and eventually it does loop back around to you're into it, and then annoying again, and then it's a whole thing. But apparently it has worked.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could hear it. I think I could probably go 100 times, and then after 100, I think you just beat me to submission. I couldn't do anymore.
That's a long time. Maybe like 10.
10? You're max 10, Johnny. I have more of affinity for the Macarena apparently, because I could probably do 100, I think, and then it would be too much. I couldn't do anymore. All right,
for the final story, we're going to take you over to London. There's a picture there to share, Andrew. And I'm actually going to introduce you to influencer Oil London. That's the name he goes off of. He was born a white British man.
Yes, I could see.
But has since come out as a non-binary Korean gentleman. He has spent tons of money to embrace what he calls his transracial identity. He wants to look like BTS, the K-pop group BTS. He wants to look like the member Jimin.
Me too.
And so in his efforts of doing this, though, he's got what he feels to be one last little snag. And that's people tell him he can't be Korean because his penis is too big. So now,
the guy's name?
So now he's going.
How do you spell his name, Tifel?
How do they know how big Jim is?
Oil London or Ollie London? Sorry, not Oil London. Ollie London. OLI London. So he's going to go to He's going to go to Thailand, spend anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000 US to have a penis reduction surgery so that he is average size of a Korean junk, which is actually average size for them is about 3.5 to 4 inches.
You know, there are some women. There are some women. There are some women that say that if I wanted to assimilate as an African American right now, that I'm in the category from the waist down, that I would be okay.
And those women have never seen a naked African American man.
I have.
I just like his commitment to this project. Like literally, he is just going all the way. He is not giving up till he gets to the end.
Like, I don't want to say he looks like him. I want to say he looks like he could be his cousin. I'm looking at pictures of Jimin right now.
Yeah,
Jimin. Yeah,
put him up. Can you put one up, Donnie? I want to see. I don't know what the dude looks like. I want to see.
All right, here.
All right, so you guys saw Ollie.
Wait, I want. Yeah, Ollie.
And then Donnie's going to share Jimin here.
I want to see. Yeah, what he's supposed to look. What he's trying to look like.
Here, well, I don't know how to share, so I'm sending it to you in the chat.
Oh, I don't know how to do. I don't know if I know how to do it either.
I think
gosh.
Here, Chris Tiefel will get it. So here's the thing: is I want to see what we're working with, like what we got to get to. So we saw where our starting point is. I want to see.
Oh no, that's already after a bunch of surgeries.
Oh, poor guy. That's
already.
That's him already getting.
I mean, you're born a white British dude. There's only so far you're going to get to look like a Korean K-pop star.
Oh yeah, he's got a little.
One can try.
He can try. Thank you.
So he's getting a lot of backlash online over this announcement. People telling him that just because he changes the size of his pee-pee doesn't mean he'll be Korean. But he disagrees.
Okay. So who's upset about the fact that this guy wants to be
Cares
Korean K-pop? Like, yeah, like that's what I mean. Like, who is it hurting?
That's what I've been saying, Donnie. It's like, okay, well, the right's like, he wants to be, now we want to be assimilate his books or blah, 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 whatever. Who the fuck cares? If it doesn't affect you and it makes this person life not be as miserable, then you're a fucking book, dude. I don't fucking care. Do what you got to do to make yourself happy, and don't let me shit on your parade because I'm a fucking miserable asshole.
All I'm saying is there are those of us that where a penis reduction surgery would not be a good idea.
I know,
so he's throwing away God's gift.
Tiefel is Korean already, Dan.
First of all, how would you do that? How would you do a reduction surgery? You can't really take a little off the top, if you know what I mean. That's not going to look right.
It's not like a haircut.
little shave and a haircut, little 2 bits.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I had something I want to say now that you said that, Donnie, and I lost my thought.
Is that circumcised? I think so. Maybe a couple of times.
Now I got this image of that wood planer just.
Oh. Jesus, dude, come on.
Too far. Too far.
All right. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's it. That is the story. British man wants to reduce his penis size. I say he's doing it so that more ladies flock to him because they're like, how big? It doesn't need to be. Like,
I want to see it. But I don't know.
I mean,
limited.
Put it this way. Let's say
limited time only.
I mean, come on. Let's say, what if he doesn't get it done and he's just putting it out there? Like, I'm thinking about having my junk reduced just because, it is so large. It's a little bit of a nice positive publicity
I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna throw it out there.
Let's do it today, Andrew.
What if he does get it done and no one sees it but him? Like that would be the biggest waste. He's the only one who knows.
Well, apparently, according to him, enough people have seen it that they've used it as justification for him to not be Korean.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be the after. I'm like, this is after reduction. So I try to be Korean.
I mean,
and this is me after. So ladies, please, before I take my pants off, I just want to let you know I've gone through a reduction surgery.
Can we get him on the show and just see?
Okay,
we kind of have to see it now.
Here's another example of miserable people. Have you guys seen the Tinder Swindler on Netflix? Freaking
that's on my list.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Dexter. You have to see it. So good. We watched it last night. And just to let you know, it's basically this guy, and I won't give the ending away, but this guy is swindling women and taking their money or whatever. So he'll take that money to.
You gave away the plot. No, I'm just kidding.
He'll take that money then to seduce the next girl, and then takes that money to seduce the next girl. Where he's a lot of it. He ended up swindling 50.
Sounds like a pyramid scheme of dating.
It is. They called it. It's a dating Ponzi scheme. So he ended up bilking 100 women out of $10 million.
Wow.
And finally, a couple women put it together. And then, it goes out in the press and whatever. And fucking miserable social media is like, oh, you gold diggers, how stupid are you? Blah, blah, blah. If you watch the story, like you're blaming the victim. What the fuck is wrong with this?
Come on.
Or this world.
First of all,
I'm not one. I'm not one usually for victim blaming on things, but there are certain things that happen to you that you do bear some responsibility in there.
No, but it's not true. You have to watch the movie because there's a point where he says that he's the son of a Diamond King. Well, the Diamond King is real, and he changes his name to one of the kids in there. He photoshops himself into pictures with his dad, and the whole story. I mean, he comes with the whole story, and he's got so much money he's got so much money from the last girl. So on the first date, he'll take you on a private plane and takes you on a private. And this happens over a month-long period. And his story, he's got his story legit. He's a professional con artist. and so you do get sucked in. It's not the women's fault, and they feel stupid. They're like,
I feel like if these women have enough money to be funding him to this extent,
they don't.
They have enough money to hire a private investigator to find out the Photoshop.
But they don't.
So how about I be the private investigator, and I just for fun, just like go on a couple of trips, a couple of yacht rides around, couple parties.
Yeah, this dude's legit.
And then I will break the story and bust this guy. I'm gonna take one for the team, guys.
It happens. It's grooming. It happens over a month-long period. He's got his story straight. He's a good-looking guy, and he just it's so good. It's mind-blowing.
Okay, but how is he getting this money from these women?
I don't know how the first one started, but it's like chicken and the egg. I don't know, but he's bilking one woman to impress the next woman.
Well, I understand that concept, but bilking them how?
It's the old ad. It's like I got this thing coming up.
Invest? Like what is his stick?
Go ahead, Donnie.
He needs money for something, and he's going to pay it back because he can't get his funds for some reason. It's frozen into an account.
Okay, so I've known a guy. Okay, so I've known a guy for a month. He took me on a fancy plane ride, took me to a fancy this, says he's the son of this rich guy. Then at the end of that month, he goes, by the way, I need this loan of money.
Hold on.
That for whatever reason, that seems a bit my own fault.
If you shut the fuck up,
you never shut the fuck up when I tell you to shut the fuck up.
Well, here's what happens is, so I'll give you the whole shtick. Is he's the son of the diamond guy? They Google him. Oh, there's the diamond guy. Oh, there's the son. Okay, I get it. It's legit. He's flying on private planes. Everyone's not getting private planes, so obviously this dude's story is 100% legit. The diamond industry is shady. He's like, look, man, there's a lot of people after me. And he starts dropping little hints. I just have to be careful. He's got a bodyguard with him. He's got a bodyguard. Then after a couple 3 weeks, they're texting everybody, good morning, I love you. He flies her out to whatever hotel he's at in another country, and they spend the night together, and they're talking all the time. Then all of a sudden he sends this text, oh shit, my bodyguard was hit. And he sends a picture of the bodyguard bleeding. And then he's like, we're okay. We're going to the hospital right now. They've frozen my cards. It's scary right now. They're after me. I just need to borrow. You see the money. He sends a picture of a check with $1 million. He goes, it's in my bank account. They won't let me touch it. All I need you to do is give me $30,000 just so I can get out of this situation next week, and I'll get it back to you. Obviously, I have all the money.
After they've known him for a month.
And then she has to take out this. Then she has to take out this loan, and this one little girl took out 9 loans for $250,000 for this fucking dude, and then he just ghosts her, and then she's stuck with all this money. But he does it all the time. And Chris, you don't understand. I know you've never been in love because you're a cold-hearted, black-hearted bastard.
Well, first off, I have been in love, so stop that.
Hold on.
But they've known. Okay, but they've known him. By your, well, you're not letting me ask a freaking question. Why don't you shut the fuck up and let me finish?
The story.
Why don't you let me finish?
Then you can finish because I was already started. Hold on. So then
I have an idea. You guys both talk at the same time. Me and Dexter will sort it out.
Perfect. Yes. Perfect.
I like it.
So what happens is, and I'm going to give you an example. If you're in a relationship with someone and they're doing some shady shit
for a month,
and you complain to somebody, you're like, "Oh fuck, get rid of them." But there's no heart invested. When you have your heart invested, you don't see as clearly as you do if you have nothing invested in.
4 weeks.
So these women have invested. The story's legit. They've Googled him. They do all that stuff, so they think it's legit.
I'm talking like 5 dates.
It's the heart, man. It's the heart, Chris.
Whirlwind romance.
This dude's never been in love because he's a piece of crap. That's why.
I've never said that I've never been in love. In fact, I just said the opposite a few moments ago. Yeah, but you don't listen to me. But no, there's okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, they got scammed. Yes, they deserve he deserves to be prosecuted. Yes, they deserve to get paid back. All that stuff. 100% agree with you. But it's kind of a little bit your fault if after a month-long relationship, you're like, yeah, I'll give you $250,000 using my own credit.
What you're saying is equal to saying like it's the bank's fault for getting robbed because they have money there. You know what I mean?
No.
Well, they had money there.
I'm sorry.
They should have locked the door.
What sane person after a month long? Okay. The girl I'm seeing right now, I've been basically seeing her for about a month, and we've been talking for about a month. if I asked her to borrow $20, I'm sure she would question it.
Well,
What
look
if you
at
broke
you.
your
Because
leg,
it's
Chris?
been a month.
Look at
What if
you.
you broke your leg in Kentucky
Yes.
and your cards don't work there for some
Thank
reason? Your ATM is broken. They
Yeah,
won't take a
And,
check.
and nobody sees anything shady with that. Like I got attacked. My bodyguard got hit by something. We're on the way to the hospital, and somehow all my cards and assets have been frozen after this attack.
Well, you don't have a bodyguard.
Yeah. So here's the thing: just 'cause you
Looking
can't
for a job, Dexter?
you can't take your situation and your girl Betty or whatever this woman's name is.
I like that he's now naming her.
You have to watch Netflix. You have to see the story. It will blow
I've seen
your mind.
similar stories
No,
around, and
no,
at
you've
some
never-
point,
you've not seen
when
it.
if you're at some point while you're getting, and again, scamming people is bad. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve punishment.
You're
What I'm
all
saying,
social media.
what
right
I'm saying
now.
though, there was a certain point during this being the scammed that you have an opportunity to question things, and then you willfully choose not to.
Go
Well,
ahead.
that's the
Chris,
point when
I'm
he's
gonna
already
take your
gone.
side.
Yeah, exactly. Donnie, go ahead.
Chris, I'm just going to try and take Chris's side here. So let me just give a piece of advice out there to everyone who's going to help their diamond prince or their Nigerian prince. If he needs help, if he needs 30 grand, fly yourself out there so you can pay whatever he needs directly, because you don't want to be that one girl.
Uh-huh.
You don't want to be that one girl who really is dating the prince's son or the diamond mine guy who really does need some help, but you're not going to help him just because you watch Tinder.
But here's the thing, Donnie.
So
Donnie,
fly out there and pay it
Donnie.
directly, and you'll know it's legit.
Donnie, check this out. So the one girl, she takes out the $30,000 cash loan. He flies her out to where he's at, right? So they're in the hotel, and all of a sudden his bodyguard calls. He puts it on speaker, and the bodyguard's going, security breach. They're coming right now. You got to watch out. He has to turn off all the lights. She's fucking freaking out. She's like, oh my god. And he's like, honey, I've got to go.
Sounds hot.
You heard the security guard, and then he bops in the car with the 30 grand and flips off. And she's like, oh my god, are we gonna get killed right now? So that happened, Donnie. That exact thing happened.
I
in
want
person.
to know how good these women's credit scores are.
I know.
I was just gonna say that's good, but that whole scenario sounds kind of hot. Me and Ashley have a role play called International Espionage. It goes quite something like that.
listen to this part of it. Listen to this part of it, you guys. So at one point, he maxes out her card, right? So he can't do anymore. You have to get a loan. She's like, I can't get a loan. He's like, I'm going to tell you, you work for me. So he gives her the job working for him. He sends her pay stubs from his company that's not really his company. So she presents those to the bank. So he gets more loan. That's what I'm saying. So that's how she.
And at no point during this process did she go, he's sending me pay stubs for money I never earned
because
to qualify for a loan that he needs to benefit from.
But you don't
Did she
understand.
go, this might be shady.
She's in love, and it's his life or death for him. He thinks he's going to be killed. So you do anything you can for someone that you're with that you think is going to be.
You call the cops, you call the authorities in whatever country he's in to get protection and help.
Well, and you can't discount that accent. Like Andrew's talking with that accent. I'm already halfway through the loan application online here.
Go ahead, Dex.
My question is, why do none of these girls have friends? Like, if I was a friend of any of these girls, and I'm hearing any of these stories, I'm like, wait, so you saw that on Netflix the other night? No, this is my life. There would be a moment. I'd be like,
that's a great question.
I have some questions for you.
That's a great question, Dexter. And this is, I'm sorry, Andrew. This is gonna kind of go into what Tifa was saying. They do have friends, but they that little voice in their head that's saying this might not be right is keeping them from sharing that with their friends, and they don't want their friends to tell them not to do it.
Well, I'm gonna give you this one girl was very open about her getting scammed. You know, she's like, she was open, and it's a great point. So day one, they're out on a date, Tinder date, right? And then he says, "Look, I have to go to Paris. Go with me." She's like, "Oh my God, really? Go with you?" He's like, my bodyguard and my driver are going to take you home. You pack up. We're going to go to Paris for some coffee or whatever. And so so then she's telling her friends. Her friends are like, "Girl, this is dangerous, blah, blah, blah." But she's like,
that's how you get a kidney stone.
She's like, I see, but it's a private plane. He's got a driver. He's got a bodyguard. I'm gonna do it. You know, it's a YOLO moment. She goes, I think she even wrote YOLO at one point. She's like, I'm going. And
yeah, and that's the other thing. In the grand scheme of things of modern thing, we've all seen Taken. Okay, we've all seen Taken. We've all seen this. What woman is going on a Tinder date, and then her Tinder date's like going, "I'm going to take you to Paris," and she's like, "Yeah, that seems perfectly safe."
I'm gonna pass out. That was YOLO. Like you only loaned 30 grand once.
And then here's the thing. It's like and then it's so check this out. So it's like a boiling frog. He doesn't ask for 250 grand up front. He asks for the 30, and then he's like, "Oh my god." Oh my god! So he's whining and dining another woman as he's asking this girl for money, right? So they show that, and they have all his messages. So they're like showing his actual messages because she keeps them all. And then he's like, I have to stay in this hotel one more night. Our next location has been breached. Blah blah blah.
Compromise.
You better stay in a Motel 6. I'll tell you that.
So she has to send more money, and then they show what he's actually doing.
For you.
When they show what he's actually doing, he's at a club buying he's buying all the people in their drinks and champagne and partying with her money that she's sending him.
Yeah, and also when did this happen? When did all this happen though?
Hold on, because the next girl is there at that location, and so he's using this money here to impress this next girl that's at the fucking bar where he's buying all the drinks. It's just mind blowing.
But when did all this happen though? Like what years?
Like 2000. It's been happening with this guy. He's been doing it since he was like 20. But
okay.
This Tinder thing is like 2015 to 2019. Okay. Like it just happened. I don't even know.
So it's been happening in the internet era. So this isn't like 1995. Where in everything, so they have the internet, and he can show them all the fake photos he wants. But Google exists.
All these they all Googled him. I'm telling you, until the first. Look, you have to watch this show. You have to watch it. It will blow your mind because that all gets answered. The
worst part about it is Chris is gonna like actually fall in love with some Russian chick that like was an ice skater, but she broke her leg. And she's not gonna be able to pay the bill, and he's gonna pay her like 30 grand. Yeah. We're like, Chris, see, we told you.
No. See, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. I might fall in love with the Russian skater and help her get citizenship. You're not entirely wrong there, but if like before the marriage part happens, she comes at me like I need to borrow this amount of money because I broke my leg, and I'm like, oh well, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah,
but you're black-hearted. It's not the same type of person. You're just not. This is who you are.
No, okay. If she comes, here, let me rephrase. If she comes to me after a month of talking and wants to borrow a bunch of money, I'm gonna say no because that's just dumb.
Please watch this, and we're going to reconvene. Everyone, Dexter, this is your homework. Donnie, this is your homework.
Done.
This is your homework. Everyone's got Netflix. There's no excuse. It's the top trending show on Netflix. If you go into the top trending or whatever, it's the first fucking show. Tinder Swindler. You have to watch it.
Keep your money, girls.
It's mind blowing, girl. Keep your money, girl. Don't do it,
money, girl.
But there's always that little piece in the back of her head, like this. It's the Disney ruined her part where she's like, oh,
show me the Disney movie where the princess loans the prince 30 grand.
No, Disney groomed her.
I think it's Aladdin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, the Aladdin with Kim Kardashian? That one? No, wait, that was SNL.
Dexter, I put on your calendar March 6th. You're going to be out here. We're going to stay at the house. I'm going to give you a VIP tour of the town. And we're going to go watch some live music, and we're going to have a good old time. All right? March 6th. Right.
I got to go.
Get out here.
Shout out to Colleen.
You got it, brother. All right, Dexter. By the way, if people want to see you on TikTok, how can we find you?
So my handle is Dex Vidal, DEXVIDAL 4.
One more time. Dex, DEX.
VIDAL 4.
Dex Vidal. Okay, Dex Vidal 4. Okay. Awesome, man. You were amazing. Thank you so much for taking time with us this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you. This is so
Donnie
much fun.
P, if anyone wants a car from Donnie P, then you need to go see Donnie P over at Taylor Kia. All right,
today.
Right now. All right, you guys have a great week. We'll talk to you next week. Bye, everybody.
I'm a hippo.
Broadcast Hippo Digital Media.
Come on!